Nothing in 2023 prepared students and parents of some universities across the country for the hike in school fees, which they now have to grapple with. Currently, the worsening economic pains, experts say, might as well lead to mass student withdrawal, as many universities, both federal and state-owned, have issued releases on upward adjustments of registration fees for courses being offered, with some of the increments spiking as high as 300%. While students in Edo State are staging protests over the increment of fees, University of Benin increased fees from 45,000 naira to as high as 170,000 naira. Others in Bayero University, Kano, have also been working up to the increment in registration, maintenance, and hostel accommodation charges, as well as tuition from 60,000 naira to as high as 95,000 naira and a minimum of 160,000 naira. But the National Association of Nigerian Students have vowed not to take these increments smiling. Mary Chinda, Arise News.
Joining us now to speak on the plight of Nigerian students in the face of these fee increments is the Vice President, National Affairs, National Association of Nigerian Students, Victor Ezenagu. Victor, thank you for joining us on Newsnight.
Good evening. Thank you.
Welcome.
So what exactly are the concerns? The fees or the CC mass, which is the one bothering you the more?
Well, to us, to the organization, to our association, the fees, the hike in fees is a great problem, is a great burden to us. And as a union, as an organization, we are not comfortable with it. We're not comfortable with it, and we're doing everything possible to resist it by involving in consultation, consolidation, dialogue, before we can now continue with the already ongoing confrontation in some part of the country. It's unfortunate that most of our management of institutions have failed to do the increment in fees with the human face. It's quite unfortunate whereby you have an increment that you have over 130% increment. It is high, it is too much. It means that indirectly they want the children of the poor masses to be out of school, and indirectly they want them to be increasing crime rate in the country. So we are against it.
Is it any comfort at all that at the time this is coming out, I mean, the president has signed a student loan law, you know, that will take effect very soon. Is it any comfort at all? I mean, what's the position of the students, NANS, on this issue of student loans?
On the issue of the student loan, I think we are okay by it. Right. That is one, because it's an indirect way of giving room for people who cannot afford fees to lay hands somewhere and get their fees, to pay school fees in such a way that after graduation they cannot pay back later. And there are a lot of persons who would use that opportunity, so long the stringent nature of that, of what we've seen is reduced, and so long it is made accessible to people who actually need it. So
now I ask that question because, I mean, this issue of increased tuition fees at the universities, you are not in support of it, but doesn't this solve that problem? No, those who are not able to, you know, come up with the school fees, I mean, they're really high, no doubt. But there seems to be some kind of window provided for those who cannot afford it.
See, the thing is, the loan, we just heard about it, and nobody can assess it as we speak right away, whereas the fee increase are already have started already. So I think if there must be an increase, they should wait. Everything should be put on pause, let the academic calendar run normal. Then the moment we have students can assess the loans, you can take it to whatever you want to take it to. Then they will assess it from the government to pay. But as of now, nobody can assess the loan. The loan is yet for the committees. The committees are yet to be set up for it, for the proper process of assessing the loan. So we cannot talk about using the loan to pay school fees that has been increased, and now management of institutions are preventing students from writing exams because they've not paid school fees. So no.
Victor,
yes.
Victor, the universities have given a list of their concerns for raising the tuition. Inflation is high, it's on the rise. The fuel subsidy removal is affecting the running cost of the universities and all that. And devaluation is another challenge. Who are you speaking to? Who is your body speaking to about these challenges and the rise in tuition?
See, it is clear that, yes, there is an increase in inflation rate and subsidy has been removed. But bear it in mind that the removal of subsidy, anybody who is saying that the fees are increased because of the removal of subsidy is telling us lies.
No, who are you speaking to? Who are you having?
Who are you making your case?
Who are you engaging?
Yeah.
Who are you making your case with? Who are you engaging to serve as mediator for you?
Yes, I'm coming to that. You see, first of all, I want to disabuse people's mind on the side of the subsidy because somebody had already said something about it. Now, we, from our own angle, we are engaging the stakeholders, both in education, both government. Like the last time we met with the sitting president, we talked about some things, some form of palliatives that can cushion whatever effect that can be coming from these things. And one of the palliatives that can cushion this effect, I think, took care of, was taken care of through the loan, but that is not enough. The loan has to start first before we can say it's been a palliative. Secondly, in the issue of subsidy removal, I want to use this medium to say that in the issue of subsidy removal, there is need for propelled buses that are being propelled by good thing. We're talking about natural gas to fuel vehicles. Those buses that are being propelled by natural gases can be made available to institutions to help cushion the effect of the removal of subsidy. Because this bus, by the time you get at least five buses, big buses across each institution in Nigeria, it will help to subsidize the transportation rate across the campuses. Yes,
indeed. And back to that question raised. I mean, it's one thing to react or respond to a policy, document, or even when it's, been put into effect. Who are you laying your case before? Have you addressed the University Senate, for example, to say, look, this is where we stand as the student body? What exactly is the school authority telling you as a group, as group of students?
Thanks so much. You see, there is one problem we've always had with not just our administration, but previous administration, with university and school management. Whenever issue of fees or issue that affects students comes on board, they don't engage the student in decision making. Most of them, we have student union government of every institution.
Right.
Most of them, before they go on about increasing fees, most don't call the attention of the student union government. Because when you call the attention of the student union government, it starts from there. Before it gets to us. It starts because they are the gatekeepers of the campus. So it starts from before it gets to us. So it's a problem, it's a battle because they know that if they bring it back to us, that we're going to object it and we're going to do a proper scrutiny on the fees or the increment. So they do as much as they can to sideline us, to keep us out of it.
But Victor, there have been allegations by university senates that student union governments are not civil enough to be engaged in matters that affect them and the running cost of the universities. Does that bother you?
You see, it is not, I want to disagree with that our student union government are not civil enough. It's not true. You can't be deciding a man's case in his absence. Before you see, we must take the lead and you play a role for us. We must be the one, the student must be the one to take the lead while the management play a role. And how do we take the lead? By being present in whenever these decisions are being discussed.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's just an excuse for them to shade us off and do what they want to do. Most of the management are extremely greedy and are extremely interested in their personal interests.
So NAN says, of course, NAN says it will, take some actions if nothing happens to reverse this hike in school fees or, tuition fees. What exactly are the options before you? What steps are you ready to take?
You see, like I said earlier, we have a 3C mantra. Consultation, consolidation before confrontation.
Yeah.
In some of our states, the local union have actually exhausted the 2 Cs, and they're already confronting. For instance, in Eboma, There's a protest that has held for about 2 days and is still going to continue in Ekpoma, Amsterdam University. Why? Because a fees was moved from 180 something to /2 something to 600 and 700,000. That is high. That is extremely high. It means that indirectly, and it's a state-owned government institution. It means that indirectly the state government does not want the students, does not want the indigenes or the residents of Edo State to be educated. It means that there is an indirect way of saying we want everybody to be hooligans and vagabonds. So it's a problem.
You don't think one of the demands of ASU over time, the autonomy of universities and all of that, may just be what is, coming playing out, where the universities can raise the fees in order to get it to reflect in the quality of education that you're getting?
There won't be problem of having a qualitative education in Nigeria. But when doing this, you must bring everybody on board, and there must be proper means of it. You can't just get up and sit at home and move fees from 180 something to 600,000, and you expect people to.
Thank you, Victor. Right. We know that we won't bother you about university autonomy, because you are not.
Thank you so much.